Because of the depth distance, it looks like I'm tiny.
Well, I'll put my chair down a bit then.
No, it's because this distance. I'm near. No,
I'll move your chair nearer then.
Yeah, I probably should actually, to be honest.
Okay. Right, don't make any faces or anything, because I'm about to start talking properly now.
Oh, I'm going to cut corpsing. That's my thing. All right.
Just look at the camera. Okay.
Don't make me laugh. I'm really bad at this.
3 hours later.
Hi everyone, I'm Joe Fry and this is my channel, Jojo Fry Rocks. And in this video, we're going to be having a look at this little audio interface. It's the Synido Live Dock A20. So this is a little device which will allow you to record using mobile devices like your mobile phone or a tablet or iPad or something like that, which isn't something that I have generally done a lot of. And in fact, I haven't generally done a lot of recording at all, ever before. So this is why I've roped in the help of somebody who has got quite a lot of experience, actually, of sound recording. So this is my partner, Matt. Say hello.
Hello, Matt.
Oh my God, if you're going to be like this, I can't do this. So this is Matt, and Matt has actually had professional recording experience, although many years ago. He was in an actual band. The band was called Tan Hauser Gate, and they recorded a couple of studio albums. These are Vanishing Days and Travel in Twos.
Away, one dirty line to make it right. On borrowed time, I changed my mind. My second choice, only inside a ragged head. A space to move, a space to breathe, a line down. Oh, take it up and down and down and up again. Lead me through the strip like streets, pouring rain. A single spike, a little piece of you. A single line, a stupid thing.
And so Matt has actually spent time in recording studios, and as the synth player in the band, he was kind of very involved in the overall sound design and everything. So, you know, I get him to help on my channel quite a lot whenever I have done any kind of recording of myself singing and playing guitar for the channel, and just general kind of sound and mic kind of support whenever I've needed it. And yeah, thanks a lot for that. But yeah, I thought Matt actually knows an awful lot more about this than I do. So he has sort of designed some tests to shoot this out against the actual interface that I use most of the time, to see kind of what the quality is like. But also I thought he would be kind of better person to know about like the features of this and what it's actually good for and who might actually benefit the most from using something like this, because it's not something that I've ever really done before. So Matt, do you want to talk through what are kind of some of the features that you get on this little interface?
Right, okay, so it's a very, very lightweight device, which is really, really good, especially if you want to do something for mobile recording, which is, I think, is probably where, in the conclusion, we'll probably think more about how we want to use this. It's got two inputs, a standard jack input that's got a little guitar icon, and then a mini jack that's got a microphone icon. The two inputs both have preamps on them. The instrument one, the guitar one, has actual display, so you can see how much gain is being applied. With the mic input, you're just going to have to use your ears to work out whether or not you've got enough gain to.
Oh, really?
Hear. Yeah.
I thought there was gain on both of the channels.
Yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right. There's two. Each one has its own preamp, but only one has a visual display.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
So this one you just have to use your ears to work out whether or not you've put enough gain on. So you need to monitor it using the headphone output. That is a standard stereo mini jack.
Okay.
It's got a nice feature of the Bluetooth receiver, and it is just a receiver. If you want to record with this device, you have to use the USB or Lightning.
So what's the Bluetooth bit for?
So this means you can send music from your mobile phone or your iPad or your laptop to this to then hear it back through the speakers on here. Okay.
So like if you had a backing track, for example.
Oh, yeah, that's a good.
And you want to sort of record yourself singing and playing along to a backing track, then I guess you can Bluetooth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think for a major use, I think would be either to have a little loop going so you can keep in time, or a metronome, something like that. And then obviously that won't be captured on the recording, so that's quite useful.
Right. Oh, right. So whatever you've Bluetoothed won't be recorded.
Yeah, that's in my tests. It didn't.
Okay.
We'll confirm that at the end. And does also have a little signal light, so that you can just strum your guitar and just check you are actually getting a signal, which is super useful actually on any interface. Not all interfaces have signal lights. Most do though, and that's quite good. What do we want to talk about next?
So what about the outputs? So you've got headphones.
Yes, just a headphone output. That's it.
But mono and stereo, right?
Right. So the output is always stereo at all times. But if you press the mono stereo button, if you press it into mono, it mixes the two inputs onto both outputs. So it essentially mixes them together. If you have it in stereo mode, it keeps the instrument in left and the mic in right, which if you're going to be recording, which is what I wanted to talk about today, then that's really useful. So you can keep the separation of the instruments and then apply effects and edits separately. I will note, and this will come up in the tests later, that there is crosstalk on the channels. So you don't get super clean left and right, but with a decent noise gate and compressor, you probably could keep them quite separate. But
bearing in mind that this is not sort of professional studio grade equipment, we're talking about something for recording stuff kind of on the fly on a mobile device. I think, there's a level of acceptable kind of, if you get a little bit of bleed from your guitar or something into the mic, I think
you're always going to get bleed
you're going to have to accept
into the mic anyway. It's always going to happen if you're playing to. If you've got a microphone, it's going to pick up everything around at some level to some degree. Well, I want to talk very quickly actually about the connectivity of it, because that's quite good. So it comes as standard with a USB C connector, although it is a USB 1 class compliant device, which means that it will plug into any device and be recognized as an audio interface without needing any drivers or any messing around that, which is very good.
So plug and play kind
plug
of
and
thing.
play. I did have it in front of me, but it's gone now. It came with an adapter that can adapt to the lightning connector you'd find on older iPhones.
Go and get it. Go and
Well, it's right in front of me. Oh, it's gone.
It's here.
Oh, right. There it is. This actually came with the package. There we go. Teeny tiny little, it's not a zoom, not focusing at all, but there we go. And then you put that on there, and you can then plug it into an older iPad, older iPhones, like most of us probably have, and record with that. It only reports that it requires 500 milliamps. For those in the know, that means it will work with an iPhone without any external power supply, although it does have an external power supply input. So
you can have that, plugged in and charging while you're using it?
No, so it's so that you can, so this one would be so that you can power it if it reports too much device. So many devices can't provide enough power via the USB port to keep something like this going. And I was going to say this.
Your iPhone should, or iPad.
It just about. And when I did the tests with it, the iPhone could power it, but this got very hot, which means it's pulling probably the maximum amount of current that the iPhone can do. So it will have a noticeable effect on the battery life of your iPad or your iPhone when you're using it, but that's to be expected.
Yeah.
The device we're putting this against is also class compliant, but does require an external power supply. So this is one massive advantage to a device like this that doesn't require an external power supply. So you could be sitting in a field with a guitar and a microphone in your iPhone and the Synido, and you could then record your musings.
Well, I guess you could, but if you want to record your electric guitar, don't you need to put it through an amp of some kind, even if it's a tiny little small amp that you just plug into the jack socket of your guitar, or a device like a Sonic 8 Pocket Master, or don't you need something like that before you can't just run your guitar straight into the interface? Right,
so the preamp, you can't really see too clearly on here, but it does actually go up to 21 decibels, plus 21 decibels gain, which is enough to actually take the output of the coils, the guitar coils, up to a recordable level. You get quite a nice clean recording with that.
But you could only record a clean sound, obviously.
Yes,
because if you don't have anything in between the guitar and the interface, then
obviously if you want to shape the tone, shape the sound, you're going to have to use an effects thing. I think Nuix and stuff have these tiny little boxes that are battery powered, and then that would fit quite happily between. I would actually note that the preamp is quite noisy. You're getting digital noise off the USB, and also just actual circuitry noise coming in at about minus 40 decibels. So if you have got an effects box or processor that can bring the guitar's natural gain up, you will completely cover up the sort of the deficiencies in the noise floor of that, which would be very useful.
Okay. So how are we gonna do our tests then? What equipment are we gonna use to record through?
Right, so I'm going to let you decide how the guitar is going to sound. So you can either use your beloved Katana Mark II, I think you've got there.
Yeah.
Maybe
50 watt.
Maybe a Gen 3 will be coming your way at some point. Or you can just do clean recording. I don't know. It kind of depends what you think. From my perspective, I think this is probably most useful as I've got a guitar, I've got a microphone and a phone, and I just want to record my ideas really quickly. I think that's where this really shines, because it doesn't require anything else. You can just plug it in and go.
So what, maybe my electroacoustic, my Yamaha?
That might be actually probably the best one, but then that's got a built-in preamp.
Yes, it does.
So that would mitigate the slightly noisier preamp on there. Yeah, I don't know. It's your choice on that one. But with the actual microphone, because this cannot provide phantom power for studio mics, the condenser mics that we normally use. I'm a big fan of the Rode mics and Rode condensers. We've actually purchased a dynamic mic. It's the Behringer XM 8500.
Get the box.
Get the box. I have the box over there. Which we've purchased this, which is just an SM58 clone. I don't have any SM58s anymore, so...
Well, Andy from Guitar Stuff Studio said that this is an absolutely brilliant mic, didn't he?
I can't remember
So
what Andy said about that
I think
one.
that's where we've got this one, because I think Andy mentioned it, and I thought, it's only, what, £12?
£12, that's right, yeah.
So I thought,
and I have, I've used SM58s a lot, obviously, in live situations, very rarely in studio situations. And to my ears, this is as close to the audio profile as I've heard a cheap clone of the SM58. I don't think it'd be as robust as an SM58. I mean, I've seen SM58s last for decades and be thrown around, dropped in bit, the SM58 is super reliable. It's the go-to. But if you just need a dynamic mic that's the same audio profile, just get a cheap Behringer. It won't last as long, but it will do the job.
Well, it should help us, hopefully, to demonstrate the capabilities of this little audio interface and see what sort of sound quality we can get from it, and shoot it out against the Zoom and see what you think. Basically.
Okay, so the other interface we're using is the Zoom UAC 232, which I selected because it has a 32-bit interface, which means you don't have to worry about preamps or anything. Joe can do a video all about the different types of analog to digital converters. If anyone's interested, in the comments below, and we can talk about different types of audio interface for recording.
You can talk
I can
about
talk about that. Yeah. But anyway, that's what we'll be comparing against. Just to give you the idea of the sort of quality you'll be getting from the Synido.
So I would add that a few other people, you might have seen within the guitar community, have already made videos on this and done various reviews and demos. Guitar Stuff Studio, Andy's done one. Johnny, Budget Guitar Show's done one. And Brian, Searching for Tone, has also done one. They've kind of looked at different aspects of it, I think. What a lot of the videos tend to focus on is the fact that it's really good for doing live streams and doing kind of live on the go mobile kind of streaming and stuff like that. So that's really great for people who might find themselves in sort of various different locations and situations and scenarios, and they want to do live streams. But this kind of isn't the use case that we're looking at in this video. If I'm sort of taking a break from work, for example, on my lunch break, and I suddenly have an idea for a guitar riff or a part of a song or something, and I want to record it quickly, I don't want to have to set up, micing up the amp and kind of setting up the microphone and getting everything sort of ready. That takes most of the time that, by that time I'll have forgotten my idea. So this looks like it would be really handy for me to just kind of plug something in to get some ideas down, really.
And I say my thinking is always, and this comes back from from my experience is whenever you record up an idea and whenever you do any pre-production work, which you often don't have the full setup, how much of what you record can actually be used again in a full production later. I mean, that's obviously more more for people like me who operate more in a recording environment rather than a live environment. But I just want to know how good the demo ideas are, and how much could actually be captured from that. A lot of great records have often taken parts from demos that were and I can think of a few examples where actual small musical parts, because the demos are recorded at such good quality on a multi-track rather than just recorded on a cassette tape. They've actually taken some parts because the way a part was played was they couldn't recreate it in the studio to get that feel or that groove or that timing or whatever.
Or even we all know about those sort of recordings that are done, I don't know, in a hallway or in a bathroom, or somewhere where you're trying to capture the room sound, reverb or something like that. Yeah. So, there could be a number of reasons why you just want a really simple kind of plug and play way of recording, capturing some ideas. So
quickly and easily.
That, I think, is the sort of use case that we're going to be looking at in this video.
Yeah. I think I will mention one last point. The documentation does state that it's 24-bit, 96 kilohertz. When I tested the device, it actually reported that it could do a number of formats, 24-bit, 16-bit, and up to 192 kilohertz, but none of those worked. The only actual audio format that worked was 24-bit, 48 kilohertz, which is kind of what you would be using for most recording. You'd probably be using 96 now for studio work.
I was going to say, all the rest of it, is that really a problem? Is it really an issue?
It's not an issue. Certainly with the actual quality of the analog side of the hardware, 16-bit, 44, 100 kilohertz would have actually been like ample for this. But it's just worth noting that the documentation kind of oversells it, and it doesn't seem to do that. I also want to note, before you see the the demos we're going to record, that the mic input has a very aggressive preamp that's quite noisy, and also has a fixed sounds like a gate, noise gate, and a compressor in there, set there. I think that's done to try and reduce the bleed in from the guitar. I think they've tried to do that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it makes the quality of the mic input quite a bit lower than the instrument input, which I think is good enough to be used. I think the instrument input, aside from its quite high noise floor, is usable. I think we're going to see the mic one being a little more problematic. Certainly, if you have to engineer the recordings afterwards, I think you'll notice it. And if you want to just use this as a thing to record and then release, I think it might be. I think I'd struggle to make that work. I think you'd probably want to do some post-production with the recordings because of the preset effects chain that's on the mic input.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. So how are we going to do our tests? What are we going to do this shootout?
We're just going to record it. It's going to plug it in and record. Let's give it a go.
All right. Let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. Let's see what it. Well, actually, we're going to record the same song twice.
Yeah.
Joe's going to play the same song twice. I'm going to have the mic and everything and the guitar all set up exactly the same. The settings are going to be unchanged. I'm going to record it essentially just dry into the DAW, and then just do a very simple level mix just to do it. if I do apply any preamp or EQ or anything like that, it will be exactly the same, or compressor even, on any of the things. It will be exactly the same on both. The only thing that will be different will be the levels, because obviously the Zoom doesn't have a levelable preamp. It records full range, whereas this you can set the preamp, so I will probably have to adjust the levels. But other than that, it's going to be a pretty straight recording, and we will see, we'll hear which one sounds the best. I mean, that's just for interest's sake. And then if this has the quality of recording that you want, I do want to actually just have an addendum to this video that on my actual audio engineering groups.
Hang on, don't say addendum. That's just say side note.
A side note, and this isn't a I forgot what I was going to say. As a side note to the to this video, I have actually recommended this device to people on my audio engineering and production groups, for people who do want to just really quickly record up on an iPad in an awkward situation. I think it, for the money and for the ease of use, I actually think it's quite good.
That's a good point, actually. We haven't told everyone how much this costs.
Well, I think it depends on where you purchase it from.
It does very much actually depend where you get it from. But I think it kind of ranges between, say, like $30 and $40.
And then
maybe $30 to $50.
Well, the cheaper places tend to have higher delivery costs, so you're looking probably around about $40 to $60, maybe. Maybe kind of £30 to £50, something like that. But they are really, really good value, I think, for what they are. And to my knowledge anyway, I don't think there's anything else out there on the market that kind of does this kind of stuff for that price. There are a few things, but every device has its strengths and weaknesses. I think the strength of this one is, it doesn't require an external power supply. It's lightweight, and it's got a fair few features for what it does. I don't think it shines in the audio quality, but I don't think that's really what they were aiming for in this one. If you want audio quality, there are obviously other manufacturers, but they have fewer features or some other inconvenience. Like the Zoom is quite big. Quite bulky, although it is my mobile recording device.
It's still quite chunky.
It's chunky. You have to know you're going to be taking that somewhere. Whereas this, you just throw in your bag and forget about it. Yeah,
absolutely. Right, let's get started with the testing. Just before we get into doing the tests, I just wanted to kind of say that the Synido unit actually arrived. It was delivered pretty quickly. And the packaging and everything was really, really good. I didn't do an unboxing because Matt was so excited and keen to open it and get into it all and see what it was all about that he'd actually opened it and unboxed it before I could even get to it. So we've taken some photos. Here you can see that, it came really kind of well packaged, and as I say, the delivery was pretty quick considering that how far it had to come to get here. So thanks very much for that, guys. It got here, it was tracked delivery, so I could see it all the way as it was on its journey making its way to us here. It does come really, really well packaged and boxed. So apologies that we didn't manage to do an unboxing. I'm going to blame Matt for that one.
Life is crossing summer sky. I look up and catch your eye. You've been crying for too long. 2 days fading, feeling's gone. Don't cry anymore.
me do it again. Okay.
Okay, take two.
Take two. Do your clap thing.
No, we're still synced.
Oh.
They're not. We
All
have
right.
to do it every time
Okay.
we restart them.
Take two.
Light fades across a summer sky. I look up and catch your eye. You've been crying for too long. Today's fading, feelings gone. Don't cry anymore. Don't cry anymore. There will always be tomorrow. There will always be tomorrow. Time we had, it's time enough. I was glad I had your love. Light fades across a summer sky. I look up and catch your eye. I've been crying for too long. Today's fading, feelings gone. Don't cry anymore. Don't fight anymore. There will always be tomorrow. There will always be tomorrow. Time we had, it's time enough. I was glad I had your love.
Okay, so what conclusions have we come to about the capabilities of the Synido Live Dock A20? So I was using this to record a track that I wrote a very, very, very long time ago. It's an old Rebellion Blonde song that I could barely remember how to play or what the words were. But in order to avoid copyright issues, I decided to do one of my old band songs. So we used this, and we also used the Zoom interface. And as you've just listened to, there were some differences, I think, that you probably will be able to pick up on between the two. So, Matt, what did you think the main sort of differences were? What advantages and disadvantages could you see to using this? And also I realised that we actually didn't use an iPad to record. We were actually using a laptop, which I guess is still a mobile device, right?
Yeah, I mean, I prefer to record on laptops because I like to use the original desktop version of Logic to record. But Logic is available for the iPad. No iPads that we have because they're quite old.
My iPad's from 2016.
So we could have used GarageBand, and I have used GarageBand for mobile recording before.
Yeah, it's got GarageBand.
And it works fine. But for the speed that I wanted to do, I had to use Logic. So
maybe we will do another video on actually...
If there's enough engagement in the comments, we'll...
let us know.
Yeah, type away.
If you want to see how this works actually on an iPad using GarageBand,
and I will actually do a screen recording of what I'm doing so you guys can actually see how to do a proper recording.
But yeah, for this purpose, what do you think this is really good at, and where do you think it might actually not be as good potentially as the Zoom?
Okay, so the major problem that I found with it when we were recording, Joe, was that the guitar track has a quiet copy, a crosstalk of the vocal track. And it nulled perfectly with the vocal track. So you can invert the phase of the vocal track, play them together, and then it removes the vocal completely. So if you're prepared to go to that level of engineering, you can then bounce out a version that has almost no vocal in it, and you can engineer the guitar, and then you can engineer the vocal. But I couldn't, I didn't have time to do that because we want to try and get this out quickly. And so while I was able to just do a little bit of EQ on the Zoom one, which you will hear, that is, I've just neatened up the low end of the mic because SM58s can be a bit boomy down below. I wasn't able to clean up the Synido without causing phasing issues. The EQ was phasing because of the double tracking, and so you will hear that it's not as good. Yeah, simple as. But what I was surprised about was actually just how good the general recording quality was.
It did sound pretty good to me.
Yeah.
So as someone who's completely kind of new to recording,
It's better.
I was impressed with actually what it did capture.
It's a lot better than just having your iPhone recording.
God, yeah.
You're recording on iPad, just recording. Because obviously we're using proper recording equipment, so we're actually using proper microphones and amplifiers and stuff. So it actually does it's a good way of capturing what you want to do.
Yeah, if I was just recording that song down as a demo,
Oh, as a demo, perfect.
that would be really, this would be excellent, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with. As a producer and engineer, I would come in, if you just gave me a bunch of tracks recorded on that, that'd be great, because there's some isolation. You've got a vocal and the guitar separately, so I could work out the chords against the guitar and have a vocal track that I could get the melody from. So I would be comfortable working from that, and the quality's good, very good actually, for what is essentially just a rough recording.
And, as you say, for the kind of convenience of it and like the portability.
The form factor is really good.
Really, really good.
I would say that the volume control being there, not as convenient as it seems, a bit gimmicky, and the buttons on the side means you do press them when you pick it up, which is a bit annoying. There's some ergonomics, but the actual form factor itself is being so small. You can just throw it into a bag, take it to wherever you want to record, and it's good. Yeah. Another shout out to the Behringer mic. I was surprised how close that sounds to an SM58, and I'm not a big fan of the SM58, but it's a good mic. It's really everyone knows how to engineer an SM58, and I was surprised that for 12 quid you can pick up a mic that has the same.
That was actually pretty
qualities.
shocking.
Very shocking. Yeah, that was good.
So yeah, overall, I think it seems fairly straightforward to use, and I might even have a go at using it myself. Now I've seen how to do it. Try using it with my very, very old iPad and see what I can do with it in GarageBand. So yeah, if you would like to see that video, let us know in the comments. I hope that was useful for you and a little bit informative and maybe slightly different to some of the other videos, but do check out those videos anyway. I've put links in the description to Guitar Stuff Studio, Searching for Tone and Budget Guitar Show. Just thanks a lot, Synido, for sending this, and I'm sure we'll find many, many more uses for it. Okay, thanks everyone. See you next time.
Right, done. Ba-ba-dee-ba-bee-boo.